What's up guys, my name is MJ and it is another Sunday here on Teen Meets World, and like Denise mentioned in her video from yesterday, today is the start of movie week and we figured since the Oscars are coming up that this would be the perfect theme. So this week I was going to do a parody trailer for the movie Her. Since I don't really have anyone else to film with but my phone, I thought why not just do some voiceovers and act out the parts. But I came to realize Joaquin Phoenix is not the only one in that movie. Amy Adams is actually in it and some other people. So I'm kind of going to be going a similar route, but instead this week I'm going to be talking about my top 5 favorite rom-coms of all time. So if you guys enjoy romantic comedies or romance as much as I do, or if you're still kind of in that romantic feeling from Valentine's Day, then just stay tuned and keep on watching. I don't know what I'm doing with my hands or my body. I don't know what's happening, honestly, which is what's new. I don't really know what's going on half the time, so okay. So if you watched my Grammy video, you know that I hold a pretty deep disdain for Iggy Azalea, but if you at all enjoyed her song Fancy, then you also saw the music video and you know that it was modeled after the movie Clueless, which is my number 5 for the top romantic comedies of all time. I think it's a classic. I think that if you haven't seen it yet, you definitely should, especially if you're a teenager and you're kind of going through all of those typical tropes of teenage romance. Not necessarily saying that I am, because my romantic life is pretty much dead and non-existent, so I couldn't really relate to a lot of what was happening in Cher's world, other than the fact that she hated high school boys, because girl, I did too when I was in high school. I think it's just a movie that puts a lot of things into perspective. Despite Cher's kind of airheadedness sometimes, she really does have her heart in the right place, and I do think that it is kind of a little weird that she ends up with her stepbrother, but Paul Rudd is gorgeous in this movie, and so is Alicia Silverstone. I just love everybody that's in this movie. So yeah, if you haven't seen Clueless yet, it's on Netflix. Go do yourself a favor. It's such a great movie. All of the 90s things in it are hilarious, and if you're one of those people on Tumblr that are like super into the 90s, you're gonna love this movie. So yep. Alright, so I'm headed kind of more an unconventional route for these next two, but stay with me here, just stay with me, alright? So my 4th pick is The Lady Eve. If you guys haven't seen it, I believe it's from the 1940s, so it should be pretty easy. I'm pretty sure I just said show, but it's pretty easy to find online if you go look for it. It's been like decades, so yeah. I personally love the movie. It's directed by Preston Sturges. I think it's also written by him, and I think he just did a great job with it. Barbara Stanwyck is amazing in this movie. She plays the lead character, and I think another reason why I love romantic comedies from this era is because women really took the lead role in this, instead of just being, you know, the one who works 9 to 5 and doesn't really know how to make jokes and kind of has to loosen up a bit before the guy starts liking her. Instead, the women are kind of the ones taking charge, and they're the ones who primarily take action in the movie. You know, if there's a guy that they want and they set their sights on them, they're the ones who make that move, and I guess in this movie kind of set them in their traps a little bit. So yeah, in these movies, you know, the guy is usually the more passive one. Henry Fonda does an amazing job of playing a passive role. He kind of doesn't really know what's going on half the time. Barbara Stanwyck plays a card shark, so she knows that he's rich and kind of tries to trick him out of his money, but eventually they fall in love, and you think that the movie is over halfway through it, but it really isn't, and it kind of takes you on this journey with them, and it's one of my favorite movies. So yeah. So my 3rd movie kind of goes down a similar route. My 3rd movie is Bringing Up Baby, starring Cary Grant and Katharine Hepburn. And you're probably like, who the hell is that? But again, this is another one of those movies from like the 30s, 40s. I'm not really sure when it's from, but it is one of my favorite romantic comedies of all time. Originally, in the beginning, I kind of hated Katharine Hepburn's character. Really, with this movie, it's either you love her or you hate her, but I think she's hilarious in this movie. Again, like Barbara Stanwyck, the women take such a lead role in this. Cary Grant, who is gorgeous, plays a, I guess, I don't want to say archaeologist, because I don't know if he's an archaeologist, but he is this guy who works in a museum. He's kind of the guy who just non-stop works, and he doesn't really do anything else, and he's getting married to this woman who is also really stuffy and passive and doesn't even want to go on a honeymoon. She just wants to get back to work. Out of nowhere, Katharine Hepburn kind of comes into his life and kind of messes everything up. It's hilarious to see their love kind of form out of all of these crazy situations that they have to go through together. If you're a fan of romantic comedies like I am, and you kind of want to see a different perspective of it and want to see where these movies kind of got their start from, I think The Lady Eve and Bringing Up Baby are two really good movies to watch and kind of get an introduction to it a little bit. And they are from a different era, but I feel like a lot of the things that they go through emotionally, people can still relate to, and it's something that's kind of like timeless, I guess, which is another reason why I really love romantic comedies. And if you want to see romantic comedies that are more female driven, then these are definitely going to be right up your alley. They're great movies and they're classics and I love them. Now, going back to more traditional in color romantic comedies, my second pick for my favorite romantic comedy movie of all time and eternity and all of that shit is 10 Things I Hate About You, starring Heath Ledger and Julia Stiles. I love this movie so much, I can't even begin to explain it. And it's not just because Heath Ledger and Joseph Gordon-Levitt are in it, and he is so little in this movie and so adorable, and they look like brothers. I honestly, when I watched the trailer, I thought they were gonna be brothers in this, but it's such a good movie. It's another one of those like 90s kind of things. I'm pretty sure this movie is from the 90s, but God, Heath Ledger is just so gorgeous in this movie. I think it's like a modern take on The Taming of the Shrew, which is like a Shakespeare thing. Literally their high school is called Padua High, and his last name, I can't remember what his last name is in the movie, but his name is Patrick Verona. Verona, like honestly. Julia Stiles' character, I can't remember her name. I think her name is Kat. Yeah, her name is Kat. And I remember this because the guidance counselor meows at her while calling her Kat. I love her character. She's this huge feminist and she really stands up for what she believes in. I just love it because she's actually a really strong female character. She's not just one of those girls who just stands by and kind of waits for everybody to admire her. She doesn't really seek approval from anybody else. She knows who she is, she's super confident in who she is, and she puts herself first before anybody else, and I think that that is amazing. It's such a great movie. The ending always gets me when she's reciting the 10 Things I Hate About You, and it's so great. It's so great. If you haven't seen it, you need to go watch it. I don't know if it's on Netflix or not, but I know it's on YouTube, and again, it's an older movie, so it's a lot easier to find online. My number one favorite romantic comedy movie of all time that I could watch over and over again is 13 Going on 30, starring Jennifer Garner and Mark Ruffalo. Again, Mark Ruffalo. I have a huge crush on him, even though he's like almost the same age as my mom, but he is just, I love him. And he is amazing in this movie. I believe this movie is from 2005? I'm not sure. Who knows? Either way, it's probably 10 or more years old. It's such a great movie, and the reason why it is my favorite of all time is because it's a generational movie. It doesn't matter if you're young or old. I think you'll get something out of this movie because like I said, this movie came out like 10 or so or more years ago, and I'm about to turn 20. I'm 10 years away from 30, so I got a ways to go. It's one of those movies that I actually watched it when I was younger. I'm pretty sure it was before I even turned 13 that I watched this movie, and I just remember being in the same predicament where I was just kind of unhappy with how I looked and who I was. Not necessarily saying that I'm still happy with how I look now, because girl, trust me, that is another video, that is another story. I got a whole country full of insecurities, if that's even a unit of measurement that I can use. Yeah, I just remember watching this movie when I was a lot younger and being in the same position that she was in and wishing that I could be older and, you know, have independence and experience all of these things that women get to experience. It was just one of those movies that I could relate to, and I remember when I was younger I didn't really understand the second half of the movie. I just remember being like, oh my god, I wish this movie was real, I wish I could actually do that and just, you know, sprinkle some dust on my head and suddenly I'm 30 and I don't have to go through all of this crap later on. Because had I known how hard like 15 through whatever was going to be, I honestly probably would have skipped it. I recently rewatched it again, I think a couple months ago, and it just, I felt something. It's one of those movies where now that I'm older I'm just like, oh my goodness, like this movie's amazing and there's so much that you can learn from it and take from it. I love both of their characters. I love Jennifer Garner's character and Mark Ruffalo's character. I don't know, I can't really say enough about it other than the fact that I think no matter what age you are or how old you are, you will be able to take something away from this movie. Yeah, if you guys want to watch any of those movies, I would link those down below, but I honestly don't really feel comfortable putting Putlocker or Megashare links down below, just because sharing movies on the internet is illegal. But like I said, these movies are like, some of them are super old. The two movies that I talked about are older than my parents. Like I said, they're super easy to find online. But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video somewhat. That is my video for movie week. I am a huge fan of movies. I could talk about movies forever, but I have two lighting things right now, so it's getting really hot and I just honestly I can't stand here for much longer. But yeah, those are my top 5 favorite romantic comedy movies of all time, and that is the longest sentence ever. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys are watching the Oscars this weekend or whenever the hell it is, leave a comment down below and tell me what movies you want to see win. I really like the movie Boyhood. It's the only one that I've seen so far. I am planning on watching Birdman and I guess Interstellar. I just hit my hand on the door and tried to pretend like it didn't happen, but it totally did. If you guys like this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. I'm sorry that it's another one of those videos where I kind of just rant and ramble and go on and get a little bit emotional, but you've been here, we've been here. If you've been watching my videos on this channel, you know how it is. If you want to see me talk and ramble more and get more emotional, go to my main channel, because I uploaded some videos on there. And if what I'm saying is a lie, they'll be up soon, don't worry. And yeah, so that is it. If you guys aren't subscribed yet, I don't know why you're not. We're coming up to our 2nd month. I know that the videos are kind of messy sometimes, but to the people who are subscribed and actually watch all of the videos on this channel and actually care about us, wow, you're awesome. And that sounded really sarcastic, but I don't mean it that way. I really do appreciate it if you guys are actually subscribed to this channel and watch our videos. That's super awesome. But yeah, if you haven't subscribed, subscribe, please, so you can get to enjoy the rest of the week's videos, because I don't know what the hell everybody else is up to for movie week, but I'm sure they'll be great. And I think that's about it. Yeah, I will see you guys next week. Hopefully I won't be hitting the door so much. It's so hot. I'm sweating. I don't even know what I'm saying anymore. I'm gonna go. Goodbye. My #1 favorite, all-time favorite romantic comedy ever, ever, I could watch it like a million times over, is 13, really, honestly. I always forget to put my phone on silent whenever I'm filming, but back to the point.